All right, hi everyone. We're going to be talking to you today about nutrition. I'm Martina.
I'm Mackenzie. And I'm Nicole.
So first off, we're going to talk a little bit about why nutrition is so important. It does have some effects if you have poor nutrition right away, which include stress, tiredness, and decreased work capacity. And then it can also lead to effects later in life with poor nutrition, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, diabetes. And diabetes is super huge because we see it so much today. So it can lead to being put into the hospitals and lead to a lot of medical bills, things like that. So if you take care of your nutrition now, you won't have some of those effects later in life. So we're gonna go ahead and play a little Kahoot real quick to talk about some facts of nutrition and see where you guys are. You guys can pull that in. Is everyone done? Are we still going? Okay. Good. Is everyone logged in that wants to be logged in? Okay. We're just gonna start. So what percent of Americans eat more sodium than recommended a day? All right, so it is 90%, so that's about almost all of Americans that eat more sodium a day than that's actually recommended. All right, next question. All right. Fast food restaurants in the past 50 years have
Doubled, tripled, or stayed the same.
They've actually doubled in the past 50 years.
Wait a minute.
What is an example of an empty calorie?
Pizza, veggies, fruit, or skim milk.
Milk, that's black.
It's actually pizza.
Oh my boyfriend that.
Last question. An average U.S. adult consumes how much sodium a day?
Let's go to high summer possible. We got it wrong. Yeah.
So the answer is 3,400, which is almost double the recommended. Good job. And good job, Keely.
I got 0.
All right, so I'm gonna have a couple of people tell me what they had for breakfast this morning. What'd you have?
Me?
Yeah.
I had the school's breakfast. It was like a breakfast pizza.
Breakfast pizza. Who else?
I had nothing.
Cucumbers.
Nothing.
What'd you have?
Cucumbers.
The Nutri-Grain bar. Nice choice. All right. So, do you think that what you had for breakfast this morning was considered healthy?
I had nothing.
What do you think makes a breakfast healthy? What are some things you would want to include that make it healthy? Go ahead. Go ahead. Someone just say what you think would make a breakfast healthy. Fruit. Anything else? Just fruit? Vegetables?
Is there a grain?
Grains. Grains, yeah. Nice. All right, so Nicole's gonna point out some things that you'd actually want to look for when you're picking out your meals for the day.
Okay, so here we have a nutrition label. So when looking and shopping for food, it's important to pay close attention to the food label so you can see what you're putting into your body and choose healthier options. You should first look at the serving size and the calories. So this is important because if you eat 2 servings of something, you are actually doubling the calorie intake and the percent of daily value. The percent of daily value is a guide in the nutrients in 1 serving of food. So for example, on here it states that there are 260 milligrams of calcium, and that is 20% of your daily value, meaning 1 serving provides 20% of the calcium you need each day, and daily values are based on an average of 2,000 calories for the healthy adult. Next, you will want to focus on total fat. There are many different types of fat that you can put into your body, and some may not be considered healthy and some are considered healthy. So when looking at the fat, you want to make sure that the trans fat and saturated fats are limited, while unsaturated fats, so you want to make sure that the unsaturated fats are in the food more so than the trans fats, because the unsaturated fats are considered good fats and they actually help lower your disease risk. Next, is it important to look at the sodium content, because consuming too much can raise your blood pressure and can increase your chance for other health conditions. Sugar is also important to look at, including added sugars. Added sugars are like the syrups and the sugars added to beverages and foods during preparation. However, these sugars in excess present a serious health concern and can contribute to the increase in diabetes, obesity, and heart disease in the United States. It is important to know that added sugar should not be more than 10% of your daily value, and you can see that in the daily value percentage column. And finally, it is important to look at protein, because protein actually helps repair your tissues and build up muscle. So overall, what I want you guys to take away from this slide is that I know a food label can be very overwhelming with all the numbers and the percentage of daily value, but by looking at the 5 things I mentioned and following the guides that I gave you, you can make healthier, smarter food options, food choices.
So just as Nicole explained how it's very important to know how to read a food label, it's also important to know how to portion your meals. So these daily meal amounts are specifically for adults aged 14 to 18 years old. So you should have 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit, 2 to 3 cups of veggies, 5 to 6.5 ounces of protein, 5 to 8 ounces of grains, and 3 cups of dairy. So sometimes you can't get all 5 food groups, and we did pass out that My Plate, so that kind of just gives you a visual of what you should be looking at to portion your meals. But it should be your goal to get all 5 food groups into each meal. So an example of what a healthy breakfast would look like would be 1 cup of fresh strawberries, 1 slice of wheat toast, wheat like bread, 1 egg, a cup of sauteed spinach, and 1 cup of low-fat milk. So now if you think back to what you had for breakfast, just think of some ways that you could change it to make it a more healthy, well-rounded breakfast. So sometimes it can be hard to visualize what a cup looks like or how to picture ounces. So if you just think of a cup as the size of your fist, that can help you. So if you need 2 cups of fruit per day, then you just imagine it being your 2 fists. And then 3 ounces is about the size of your palm. So that can help you when you're thinking about measuring out grains and the proteins. So we have an activity for you guys. How much salt do you guys think we should consume per day?
Not a lot.
You're right.
1,000? More or less.
Like
Wait, you said in
milligrams.
the Kahoot that there was double in there.
Right, right.
I don't even remember what the
That's okay.
That's okay. So that's too much.
150.
Okay, so it's actually 2.3 grams, which is 2,300 milligrams, and that's all it is. So it's not very much when you look at it. I can have you guys pass it around here so you can see.
And some common things that we thought you guys would be eating are like these little mac and cheese cups, Lunchables. So there's actually 700 milligrams just in one Lunchable, so eating 2 of them a day would almost meet your recommended how much you're supposed to have. And in this mac and cheese cup, there's 640 milligrams, so just 2 of these would be close to getting your daily amount. So just watching your sodium intake.
Yeah, can you guess how much is in this TV dinner?
Triple.
Yeah, so it's 1,100 milligrams. So it actually, although it is 2,300 milligrams, like for the max amount, it is recommended now for the average adult to try to decrease that to 1,500 milligrams. So if you eat one of those TV dinners, you're already at 1,100 milligrams. So it's really important to portion that out and spread it out throughout the day with your 3 meals.
Okay, so last little activity we have.
So to finish off this portion of the presentation, we wanted to play a quick game with you called This or That. So I'll just be giving you guys food options, and you guys are going to tell me which you think is the healthier option. So would you choose beef ravioli or tomato soup?
How many for tomato soup? Raise your
Yeah,
hand.
raise your hand for tomato soup.
How many for ravioli? Nope, just the soup.
I don't even like ravioli.
So the choice here would be the canned tomato soup based on sodium content, which we talked about how it leads to many health diseases and health risks. 1 can of ravioli contains 900 milligrams of sodium, while 1 soup contains 480 milligrams. All right, so next I chose Taco Bell because it seems to be a popular option for high school students and us college students. So would you choose a Baja beef chalupa or 2 grilled steak tacos?
Well, Taco Bell have mac and cheese,
Okay, raise your hand for the chalupas.
I just don't like
Okay, raise your hand for the tacos. Alright, so the choice here would be the 2 grilled tacos, and although you are having a quantity of 2 rather than 1 chalupa, a chalupa has 27 grams of fat compared to only 9 grams of fat in the 2 tacos. So it's half the amount. Okay, so another one, would you choose pizza or pasta? Raise your hand for pizza.
How many for pizza? How many for pasta?
Okay, so the answer when looking at the sodium content would be pasta, only if you cook it without adding salt and choosing like a low-fat butter sauce to top it off with. And then the last one is Burger King, since it's right down the street. So if you were to walk down there and order something, would you get the tender grilled chicken sandwich or the crispy chicken sandwich? Raise your hand for the tender.
What about the crispy?
Okay, so the tender grilled sandwich would be the healthier option due to not having the breading, because the breading actually adds over 200 calories and 22 grams of fat.
Alrighty, thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Oh, wait,
Let's get the phone. Let me see today.